Welcome to Term 4. Remember that in November there will be a scheduled standardised assessment. The first set of tracking sheets provided your Term 1, Term 2, Term 3, Term 4 class profiles, and right at the end here is the space allocated to the spelling age for students in November, and we can compare that to their spelling age in the previous year, also scheduled in November. The second set of tracking sheets that were received provides longitudinal information. So student A here in November in foundation received a score of -6 years of age, but got 12 words correct, but didn't actually get an age score. By the end of year 1, this student secured a score of 7 years 2 months. End of year 2 received 8 years 6 months. End of year 3 received a score of 9 years 6 months. So we're looking for a minimum of a 12-month increase in ability. This is particularly useful around report time because you can look at how much progress has a student made over the year, and also where are they operating in comparison to their age-matched peers and for their year level. As a teacher, you will receive feedback on how effective your teaching is for your students that are strong or operating where you should be, Tier 1, the students that are Tier 2 and a little bit delayed, and the students that are significantly delayed in Tier 3. All Tier 1 and most of your Tier 2 students should achieve a minimum of a 12-month increase in ability for 4 terms of school attendance. Some of your Tier 2s and your Tier 3 students will be a little bit trickier to achieve that, but the majority of students should make that minimum 12-month increase in ability. PLD does not sell the standardised assessments. We will provide you with a list, and it's a school-based decision where you go. Our suggestion would be a standardised reading age and a standardised spelling age is far more effective and useful than a stay 9. In terms of progress, there is a time when you open out your tracking sheets and you compare where the students are operating now in comparison to last term. And sometimes there's trends that you can notice. Your Tier 1s are moving, but your Tier 2 are not, and your Tier 3 also are a little inconsistent with their results. However, in this particular case, Tier 1, Tier 2 and Tier 3 are not progressing well. So what we need to do is refine the PLD process or get teachers in contact with the PLD office and let's dissect what's going wrong with the implementation. Now, PLD recognises your Tier 3 and some of your Tier 2 can be difficult to progress, and there's usually a range of reasons why these students are a little bit difficult or require more intense, more repetitive instruction, and the results from your tracking sheets might indicate we need to tweak the process to give that added repetition into the process. So this graphic that's in your manuals gives an idea of all of the things that we might need to consider when students aren't making progress. Number 1, we need to check the PLD is being implemented with fidelity. It's no use blaming the program if teachers have picked and chosen parts and they're not implementing as PLD subscribes. 5 days a week, minimum of half an hour. Early in the week it's speech sound mapping and a phonics focus later in the week. We need multiple attempts at repeated reading and phonic dictation to get it into extended passages. There will be students that are a little bit trickier and we need to either have a really strong focus on decodables. We really need collaboration with parents and caregivers or with specialist services. And to tweak the focus and the process, because the process might be working for your Tier 1 students, but we're not getting the process, it's not intensive enough for your Tier 2 and Tier 3 students. The nice thing is reading should progress more easily than spelling. Spelling can be difficult to get into long-term memory, but reading should progress more easily. So for some students that are flatlining, we need to move their reading and their decoding and their fluency, and then the spelling might start to move alongside that. Let's have some quick reminders on fidelity. All lesson blocks, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesdays, should commence with a daily review. What are you doing in a daily review? You are revising the last 3 to 4 weeks' content for those 3 groups, getting those concepts, revisiting them, putting them into their long-term memory. You then have Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, 3 lists. PLD is not really a fan of streaming students or rotating groups, that there's whole class instruction at 3 levels where you're going to explain the grapheme, the digraph, the trigraph. It could be a syllable unit, it could be a morpheme unit, common to the list. You're going to read and sound out and speech sound map 3 words from those lists, and you're going to define and discuss any tricky words. 3 words, 3 words, 3 words. The next day, 3 words, 3 words, 3 words. The next day, 3 words, 3 words, 3 words. Most students learn their list, but also have some up-learning and also some back revision as well. Structured synthetic phonics requires adult-led instruction, explicit instruction. It's not a situation where students are allocated to their tasks. There needs to be direct teaching. So we've got the word around, but we're going to use our spelling voice and we're going to spell it around, around. Say the sounds, often multiple times. Now we're going to map it, and this ow sound, and the d sound. I'm going to do it. As the teacher, I'm going to demonstrate those sound units and how to map to letters. But also we're going to do it together. And with whiteboards, 2 words, 2 words, 2 words, we can engage in that process together. Each student will do this, the you do section, independently with their allocated list. Look at your templates. If rewriting the words once a day is not strong enough and not intensive enough, there's double time or triple time. The word is teeth, teeth. Now map it, teeth, and again double time, teeth. And if we have to, we'll do it triple time, teeth. It's really important that we get quality of process rather than just handwriting practice and they're filling in their tasks independently. Teachers will often communicate. Dictation is difficult to deliver and keep it time efficient. My tip is 3 levels of words, 2 levels of dictation. There's your starting point. So your options can be to merge 2 groups together. Often there's overlap. So work with that overlap and merge 2 groups together. You also can alternate. Here, your Tier 3 students need to have dictation at that level. They don't have a lot of stretch ability, so dictation is going to be delivered there. However, every second week, it's going to alternate. Week 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So for all the even weeks and all the odd weeks, every second week, you've got dictation at your level, or it's either a stretch up or it's revision back, delivering 2 levels of dictation to 3 lists. The other thing you can do is use an iPad and record a dictation passage for your top group. A very quick demonstration here. Mook was a good cook. Mook was a good cook. Mook was a good cook. What are you going to write? Mook was a good cook. Press pause and write it. Before we go any further, let's just check your sentence started with a capital letter, and also that's the name of someone, Mook, so put your capital letter in. Was a cook, full stop. Mook, the cook, was looking Mook, the cook, was looking. Mook, the cook, was looking. What are you going to write? Mook, the cook, was looking. Press pause and write it. Mook was a good cook. Mook was a good cook. Mook was a good cook. What are you going to write? Mook was a good cook. Press pause and write it. Waiting, 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 and then starting up again. Before we go any further, let's just check your sentence started with a capital letter, and also that's the name of someone, Mook, so put your capital letter in. Was a cook, full stop. Mook, the cook, was looking. Mook, the cook, was looking. Mook, the cook, was looking. What are you going to write? Mook, the cook, was looking. Press pause and write. I think one of your strong students would be able to manage the top group. And so then your option is then you're delivering 2 levels physically yourself. How do you support your weaker students? Lots of repeated reading, probably dictation running more than twice a week, but also a slower paced dictation where possibly 3 words are explained and provided to the students. They listen, they speak it back, and they write those 3 words rather than 5 or 6 words. So once you've launched PLD, the challenge is to maintain PLD. We've got this really nice website with some simple tips. Tip 1, any classroom implementing PLD should be receiving e-newsletters. Just to keep you on your toes and keep getting those reminders, there are also these 10-minute videos so that every term there's some refreshers so that you don't start going on your own journey, but that actually you're looking at your own implementation and the implementation across the school. There's also the whole school literacy strategy, and we send out sets of those so that in staff meetings, PLD's implementation can be discussed. It's important that tracking sheets are used with fidelity. Things start to become more complicated when that really nice teaching plan is not clearly articulated in those tracking sheets. You've also got the option of additional coaching sessions and school-based PD as well. Remember, there's online support through the PLD office. This concludes Term 4 Teaching Essentials. Wishing you a great finish to your school year. If you found this information useful, don't forget to click the subscribe button and check out our related videos shown here. If you have any questions or feedback, please add them to the comments below and we'll be sure to respond. Otherwise, you can reach us via live chat on our website, pld-literacy.org. Thanks again for viewing.